Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something absolutely fundamental, really the bedrock of society, the family. And specifically, we're focusing on the dynamics within marriage. It's something universal, right?
Yeah.
Full of joy, but also, let's be honest, challenges.
Absolutely. It's a journey of growth, always.
And for this deep dive, we've got some really rich source material. It's based on a lecture by Sheikh Abdulsalam Al-Shuay'er titled Marital Errors That Destroy the Muslim Family.
And the Q&A session that followed it.
Dude,
Very
that's-
insightful.
Exactly. So our mission today is to, really extract the key insights, the practical wisdom from these teachings. We want to understand what truly builds a strong, harmonious family life, particularly through the lens of Islamic tradition.
And it's fascinating because while these principles are deeply rooted in, the Quran and the Sunnah, the wisdom itself, it really speaks to universal human values.
Right.
It offers perspectives for anyone really looking to build stronger relationships, understand family bonds better, and it's about being proactive,
Yeah,
not just reacting when problems pop up, building resilience from the start.
definitely. So whether you're in a relationship yourself, maybe working on family connections, or just curious about these foundational ideas, we think this deep dive will offer you some profound clarity and hopefully some really actionable wisdom for your own life.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so building on that, let's unpack the very first principle our sources really stress. It's about the extraordinary nature of the marital bond itself in Islam. It's presented as much more than just, a contract or a social thing. It's deeper.
It is much deeper. The core idea here is
Mithaqan,
which translates roughly as a solemn covenant or a weighty pledge. It's not just legal language. It's talking about a sacred trust, a bond established by God. The Quran itself, in Surah An-Nisa, verse 21, puts it so powerfully. It asks, kind of rhetorically, emphasizing the seriousness. And how could you take it, referring to the dowry, but implying the whole commitment while you have gone in unto each other and they have taken from you a solemn covenant?
That phrasing, solemn covenant, really hits home.
It does. And to grasp its weight, think about this. The scholar Mujahid ibn Jabr, commenting on this verse, actually stated that this covenant between spouses, it's considered even stronger, more binding than the covenant God took from his prophets.
Stronger than the covenant with the prophets. Wow.
Yeah. Think about the implications. It highlights the immense spiritual weight given to this bond. It's a testament to its sanctity. And this strength is tied to its power, Through this covenant, what was forbidden becomes permissible, sanctified. The most intimate connection is blessed.
Okay, so it's not just permitted, it's actively sanctified.
Exactly. And this unique status, it shows up in some distinct legal characteristics, too, setting it apart from, say, business contracts.
Like what?
Well, for one, marriage requires an explicit verbal declaration. You can't just form it in writing alone. The spoken offer and acceptance have this fundamental power.
So the words themselves are crucial.
Very crucial. It signifies intent, and it's a public declaration in a way. Also, there's no khiyar in marriage.
Khiyar.
Yeah, it's like an option to cancel or a cooling off period you find in other contracts.
Yeah.
Like khiyar al-majlis, where you can cancel while still in the meeting, or khiyar al-shart, a stipulated cancellation period. Marriage doesn't have that. Once the verbal contract is made, it's immediately binding. Conclusive.
No turning back easily? That really underscores the seriousness from the start.
It does. And reinforcing that gravity is a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He said, 3 things, serious or in jest, are serious. Marriage, divorce, and revocation.
Even in jest.
Even in jest. You can't joke about these things lightly because the legal effects happen, regardless of whether you are kidding. It shows the inherent weight.
That's a powerful message.
And finally, it's called a divine trust. Another hadith says, indeed, you have taken them by Allah's trust.
A trust from God himself.
Exactly. So it elevates the whole relationship way beyond just a human agreement. It's a sacred responsibility with accountability now and, in the hereafter.
Okay, that completely reframes it. Knowing you're entering something with that level of spiritual weight, divine backing,
Right.
it demands a certain reverence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So for you listening, understanding this context is powerful. It's not just two people. It's a relationship with immense spiritual significance, a call to real commitment.
Precisely. It sets the stage for everything else.
So with that kind of foundational sacred covenant in place, the obvious next question is, how are we supposed to live within it, day to day? How do we uphold this profound bond? The Quran gives us a directive, right? Powerful but concise. وَحَشُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ.
Yes, treat them kindly or live with them in kindness. That phrase is absolutely central.
Let's break that down. Maruf. What does that really mean?
Well, first, the word muashara itself, living together, companionship implies mutual participation. It's inherently reciprocal.
So it's not just on the husband.
Not at all. Both spouses are enjoined to treat each other kindly. There's a clear principle. For women, are rights equivalent to their obligations. Kindness, respect, good company. These are duties for both. It's a partnership.
Okay. Mutual kindness. And maruf itself.
Our sources point to two main, sort of complementary interpretations. Both are vital. The first connects maruf to urf.
Urf meaning?
Custom or the norm. That's generally recognized as good and proper in a society or culture. So treating them kindly in this sense means going beyond the absolute bare minimum required by law. It means embracing what's considered good, decent, commendable in your local context.
Ah, so it's culturally sensitive too. Striving for better than just the basics.
Exactly. Always aiming higher than the legal floor. The second interpretation, maybe even deeper, connects maruf to ihsan.
Ihsan. Excellence, right?
Excellence, beneficence, kindness in its highest form. This goes way beyond just being fair or fulfilling your obligations.
Yeah.
Ihsan is about actively seeking to do good. Generosity, forgiveness, maybe even when it feels undeserved, returning bad with good.
Wow. That's a high bar.
It is. It's striving for the absolute best in moral conduct, giving more than expected, being a source of peace and comfort for your spouse, proactively looking for ways to be good to them.
That's a really rich understanding of kindness, much more than just being nice. It makes me think, how often do we settle for just being fair when the call is really for ihsan?
It's a constant striving.
So to make this kindness practical, what does it look like for each spouse? The sources give specific guidance, right?
They do. They offer concrete qualities and actions. For the wife, Surah An-Nisa 4.34 points to three essential qualities for embodying this muashara bil maruf. First is salihah,
Meaning righteous.
righteous in herself, fulfilling her duties to God. And this righteousness naturally brings goodness and stability to her home, her husband, her children. Remember the verse, their father was righteous? It shows how individual piety benefits the whole family. A righteous person is inherently considerate.
Okay, so righteousness is foundational. What's next?
Second is qanatat, obedient.
Now, obedient can be a loaded term.
It can, but here it refers to obedience to her husband in what he commands and forbids, within lawful, non-sinful bounds. Critically important caveat.
Right, within what's permissible in Islam.
Exactly. It's not about oppressive subservience. It's about harmonious cooperation, strengthening the family unit, ensuring respect and order. The Prophet, peace be upon him, spoke beautifully about the best provision in the world being a righteous woman who pleases her husband when he looks at her and obeys him when he commands her again within lawful limits. It points to the peace that comes from cooperation.
Okay, cooperation, not subjugation. And the third quality?
Hafizat lil Gaib, a preserver of the unseen. This is really profound.
Preserver of the unseen. What does that encompass?
It means protecting her duties to Allah that others don't see, like her private worship, strengthening her own spiritual core, but it also means protecting her husband's rights when he's absent.
How so?
Safeguarding his reputation, protecting his property from misuse or waste, and, crucially, preserving her own chastity and honor. There's an interpretation by Allah's preservation, meaning God himself protects those who protect his rights and the trusts he gives them. It shows a reciprocal relationship with the divine.
Protecting his rights, her duties to God, and her own honor. That's comprehensive.
Very. Now, for the husband, the emphasis leans heavily towards ihsan, excellent treatment, going above and beyond.
So excellence is the standard for him.
Yes. The Prophet strongly advised, I advise you to treat women well. It wasn't just advice, it was a command rooted in ethics and spirituality. He also directly linked faith and character. The most complete in faith among believers is the one with the best character and the kindest to his family.
So how you treat your family is a direct measure of your faith.
According to this hadith, yes. It makes kindness at home a spiritual barometer. And there's that powerful warning. Beware of the rights of the two weak ones, the orphan and the woman, highlighting vulnerability and the divine emphasis on protection.
A strong call for responsibility.
Absolutely. And, crucially, the expectation is ihsan, excellence. Not just adl, justice. It's not enough to be merely fair. He needs to actively seek to be generous, compassionate, understanding, forgiving, that higher standard of kindness.
Oh, active. good treatment.
Exactly, not just avoiding bad treatment.
It's clear this is so much more than just rules. It's a framework for deep respect, excellence, mutual responsibility. For you listening, this provides concrete ways to live out that kindness, transforming your home into a place of peace and growth.
A spiritual foundation for daily life.
But, let's get real. No relationship is perfect. We all have things that annoy us about the people we live with, right? Little habits, traits.
Of course, that's human nature.
So how do these teachings guide us through those inevitable moments when kindness feels hard or small flaws seem huge?
This is where the Quran offers some incredibly practical and I think quite liberating guidance. Surah An-Nisa 4.19 again. But if you dislike them, perhaps you dislike a thing, and Allah makes therein much good.
Perhaps you dislike a thing and Allah makes therein much good. That's powerful.
It really is. It teaches us that feelings like love and dislike, they're not fixed. They're fluid, they change, often unexpectedly. So we shouldn't make huge decisions based on temporary feelings. There might be immense good hidden in what we currently dislike, or the situation might change entirely.
Patience seems key then.
Definitely. And there's an anecdote shared in the sources about Abdullah ibn Abi Bakr.
The first caliph's son.
Yes. He was initially deeply in love with one wife, almost neglectful of his other wife, but over time, that intense love faded, turned to dislike. And conversely, his feelings for the first wife, the one he'd neglected, they rekindled. It vividly shows how feelings can shift, a reminder not to act rashly on temporary emotions.
So emotions aren't always reliable guides for big decisions.
Not necessarily, no. Which leads to the wisdom of Umar ibn al-Khattab.
The second caliph, what did he say?
A man came to him, upset, because his wife admitted she didn't love him anymore. Omar's counsel was profound. He told the man basically that not all homes are built on fiery, passionate love. Many are built on marufuf, kind cohabitation, mutual respect, fulfilling duties.
So a stable, even happy marriage can exist based on respect and kindness, even if intense romantic love isn't always present.
Exactly. It shifts the foundation from a potentially fleeting emotion to sustainable actions and character. Respect, duty, kindness, these can endure.
Okay. That leads us to a solution, right? The prophet offered a practical strategy.
A very powerful one. He said, peace be upon him. A believing man must not hate a believing woman. If he dislikes one of her characteristics, he will be pleased with another.
Focus on the good. Don't let one bad trait overshadow everything else.
Precisely. It's a conscious strategy. Actively look for the balance. Appreciate the positive qualities. It's almost a psychological directive for maintaining harmony.
So how do people typically approach these imperfections? The sources mention different ways.
Yes, they outline 3 common approaches. First, the flawed approach.
Which is?
Focusing only on the negatives.
Yeah.
Magnifying every fault, ignoring all the good. This person is constantly dissatisfied, critical, bitter. It ruins relationships.
Always finding fault. Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
And destructive.
Yeah.
Then there's the just approach.
Balancing the good and the bad.
Yes, acknowledging both positives and negatives. This is fair, certainly better than the first, but it still falls short of the ideal of Ihsan. It's equitable, but not necessarily excellent or deeply nurturing.
Okay, fair, but not ideal. So what is the ideal?
The ideal approach. This involves actively focusing on the spouse's good qualities, praising them, and this is key, intentionally overlooking their minor faults. This concept is called tagaful.
Tagaful, intentional oversight.
Exactly. It's not ignorance. It's a wise, deliberate, turning a blind eye to minor mistakes or shortcomings, choosing not to pick on every little thing.
So it's an act of generosity, magnanimity.
Absolutely. There's a saying, the most honorable traits in a home are generosity and tagaful. And another, the master of his people is the one who tagaful acts as if he doesn't notice. It's about preserving peace and goodwill through deliberate wisdom.
Not sweating the small stuff, essentially, but with wisdom.
Precisely. And this is beautifully illustrated in the Zar hadith.
The story of the women describing their husbands.
Yes. One woman praises her ideal husband, saying, when he enters, he is like a leopard. When he leaves, he is like a lion. And he doesn't ask about what he left behind.
Could break that down. Like a leopard.
The interpretation here is that he practices tagaful. Like a leopard might see things, but not always react, he deliberately overlooks minor faults at home, creating peace.
Okay, and like a lion when he leaves.
Strong, protective, guarding his family's interest outside the home.
And doesn't ask about what he left behind.
That speaks to his trust and generosity. Not micromanaging or scrutinizing how household resources were used, trusting his wife's judgment.
Wow. That paints a picture of a very wise, trusting, and forgiving partner, someone who really understands how to maintain harmony.
It does. It's a powerful illustration of tagaful in action.
So it really boils down to actively choosing your perspective, looking for the good, and mastering that incredibly powerful act of tagaful wise oversight, not harsh scrutiny.
That's a conscious shift.
And this principle, it's not just for marriage, is it? It's a profound tool for you, listening, to cultivate inner peace and strengthen any relationship. By consciously shifting focus, practicing generous oversight, imagine the freedom in that.
It transforms interactions.
Okay, moving beyond the emotional side, our deep dive also points to a very practical area that often causes major friction: finances.
Yes, money matters. Especially when relationships are already strained, finances can become a real flashpoint.
And the Quran addresses this directly.
Very directly, particularly concerning the mar, the dowry. Surah An-Nisa 4.20-21 is explicit. And if you want to replace a wife with another and you've given one of them a kintar a great amount of wealth, do not take anything from it.
A kintar. That means a huge amount.
A vast sum, yes. The verse continues, asking, would you take it in slander and manifest sin? And how could you take it while you have gone in unto each other and they have taken from you a solemn covenant?
So the mar, no matter how large, belongs to the wife. You can't take it back, especially if initiating divorce.
Absolutely forbidden. It's her rightful property, a gift, not something to be reclaimed. Taking it back after intimacy and that solemn covenant is called a manifest sin. It's a crucial financial protection for women.
That's a very clear safeguard.
And our sources highlight why this is so important. A significant number of marital problems, even breakups, stem from financial conflict. Disputes over money, property.
Like trying to get the mar back.
Exactly, or disputes over her earnings, inheritance. These things ignite conflict. The Quranic rule about the mar closes off one major avenue for such disputes.
It's preventative wisdom.
Yes, and it connects to a broader understanding of how damaging marital breakdown is. There's that hadith about Satan's delight.
Right, where his greatest achievement is separating a husband and wife.
Precisely. Because divorce causes such immense pain and destruction, affecting children, families, society, it's seen as a major victory for forces that seek to undermine good.
And Allah dislikes divorce, even though it's permissible.
Deeply dislikes it. The hadith says, the most hated of permissible things to Allah is divorce. Permissible as a last resort? Yes, but intensely disliked because of its negative consequences. Something to be avoided if at all possible.
It's fascinating how these teachings link financial fairness directly to preventing that breakdown. It's like fortifying the marriage against external and internal pressures.
It's practical protection for the sacred bond.
So for you, this offers critical insight. Respecting financial rights isn't just about money. It's about averting major conflicts and safeguarding the stability and dignity of the marriage itself.
A fundamental aspect of trust.
Okay, so we have the sacred foundation, the principle of kindness, navigating imperfections, financial safeguards. But how do we actually live all this? Where's the blueprint?
The ultimate blueprint, the perfect role model, according to our sources, is always the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
His life provides the example.
The living example. His wife, Aisha's famous description, says it all. His character was the Quran.
Meaning he perfectly embodied its teachings?
Exactly. He didn't just preach, he lived it, especially at home. His actions were the explanation.
Are there specific examples given of his patience and kindness?
Numerous examples, like his forbearance when his wives might raise their voices out of, human emotion. He wouldn't get angry. He showed incredible self-control and empathy.
He didn't react with anger.
No. Or the famous incident with the broken dish. One wife broke a dish in front of him out of jealousy.
How did he react?
Not with anger or reprimand. He calmly started gathering the food, gently saying to his companions, "Your mother got jealous." Just understanding and grace. Diffusing the situation with kindness.
That shows incredible emotional intelligence.
Truly. And there were times wives might follow him in the streets, perhaps out of concern or affection. He never showed irritation, always maintained composure and kindness.
Yeah. Even the great companions learned from this, right? Like Omar.
Yes, the story of Omar getting angry when his wife raised her voice at him. She reminded him that the Prophet's wives sometimes did so, and he didn't get angry.
And Omar reflected on that.
Deeply. He paused, recognizing the higher standards set by the Prophet. It shows how the Prophet's example was a living lesson for everyone, even the strongest leaders, on patience and understanding in marriage.
It's such a profound reminder. His life isn't just history, it's a practical guide, a living blueprint for how to embody these principles. It makes it achievable.
It makes the ideal tangible.
And for you listening, this offers an accessible guide. Imagine trying to bring that level of patience, gentleness, understanding into your own family interactions. What impact could that have? On your home, on you personally?
It's a path to self-improvement through emulation.
Definitely. Okay, now let's transition. Our deep dive wouldn't be complete without seeing how these timeless principles apply to very real, modern challenges. Sheikh Al-Shuay'er addressed some specific questions in the Q&A, giving actionable advice for families today.
Yes, bridging the wisdom to contemporary life. Very practical.
First up, something almost every family deals with: modern media. How should a Muslim family handle its pervasive influence, especially with young people? The constant allure.
A huge challenge. The Sheikh framed it using a hadith about trials entering every home, brick, or skin. Modern media, he said, is like that. It's everywhere. You can't completely block it.
So if you can't remove it, you have to manage it.
Exactly. Management is key. He outlined 3 pillars for guidance.
Mm.
First, self-monitoring, murakabadatiyya.
Building an internal compass.
Precisely. Instilling in kids, from young, the awareness that God sees everything, giving them the tools to discern right from wrong themselves. And the danger isn't just bad pictures, he warned, but corrupt ideas, things that challenge faith, subtle narratives they read online.
So it's about critical thinking, too.
Yes, and building that internal sense of accountability, making them their own guardians, talking with them about what they see and read.
Okay, self-monitoring. What's the second pillar?
Partial external monitoring. Some level of parental oversight, even if it's not constant, knowing they might be observed can deter bad choices. Parental controls, devices in common areas may...
Now, deterrent, not total surveillance.
Right. And the third pillar, strongly emphasized, intense supplication. Constant, earnest prayer for your children's righteousness and protection. He quoted the verse, "Our Lord, grant us from among our wives an offspring comfort to our eyes," praying for them to be righteous and a source of good. He mentioned Ibn al-Munkadir extending prayers specifically for his son, linking parental piety and prayer to the child's well-being. It's acknowledging guidance comes from God.
That's a powerful spiritual dimension to parenting.
And underpinning all this, he reiterated the importance of choosing a righteous spouse in the first place. A righteous parent is the first line of defense, the primary positive influence.
Like Prophet Zechariah and his righteous wife.
Exactly. Their piety was an inheritance for Prophet Yahya.
So it's not just about prohibition, it's about active cultivation. Building that internal compass in kids, supported by prayer and your own example. For you, this means focusing on building resilience from within, not just putting up external walls. A holistic approach.
It has to be.
Okay, next question. A common dynamic today. Fathers who are often absent, maybe due to work, leaving most of the upbringing to the mother. What's the guidance here?
The Sheikh was clear. Upbringing is a shared responsibility. He quoted the shepherd hadith again. Every one of you is a shepherd and responsible for his flock. Fathers are directly accountable to God.
Neglect has consequences.
Serious ones. He mentioned the imagery of a neglected child clinging to the father's neck on Judgment Day. It shows the gravity, and a father's mere presence is vital. Even without constant teaching, just being there provides stability, authority, security. It shapes the home environment.
His presence matters, even if he's tired from work.
Absolutely. Now, if the father is genuinely absent, say, long work hours, traveling for livelihood, the mother's role becomes even more crucial.
She has to step up.
Yes. She must fulfill his role as best she can, viewing it as an additional divine trust. It's a huge responsibility, a testament to the mother's capability and resilience. She becomes the primary guide in his absence.
It's a powerful reminder that parental presence from both is active cultivation, vital for a child's development. It raises a question for you. How can we better support parents in fulfilling these crucial roles today?
A societal question, really.
Indeed. Now, modesty in dress, particularly for women, a constant topic with global trends. How do we guide women away from immodesty and blind imitation?
This ties back to Hafizat al-Kabi. Preserving the unseen includes preserving modesty in public. The Prophet warned against immodesty, linking it even to reasons for entering hellfire. It's spiritually significant.
So it's taken very seriously.
Very. The ideal is captured in the Hadith to Fatima. The best thing for a woman is that no man sees her, and she sees no man. Not total isolation, but emphasizing the value of haya, modesty, shyness, dignity.
An inner quality reflected outwardly.
Exactly. Then he unpacked the Kasiyat Ariyat hadith, clothed yet naked.
Meaning their clothes don't actually conceal properly.
Right. He outlined 3 conditions for proper covering for men and women. 1, covers the ara, the required parts of the body. For women in front of non-mahram men, generally understood as the whole body except face and hands, based on interpretation of the Quran.
Okay, basic coverage.
2, non-defining loose, not tight-fitting. Clothing shouldn't reveal the exact shape of the body, mufasal. General size indication, mujassam, is excused, like knowing someone is stout but not defining the form.
So no body-hugging clothes.
Correct. 3, non-transparent thick. Fabric must be opaque. Sheer clothing doesn't truly conceal.
Makes sense. What about the heads like camel humps part?
Rusuhuna kazmat al-bukt al-meida. 2 interpretations. 1, a seductive, swaying walk making the head tilt. 2, elaborate hairstyles or high head coverings resembling a camel's hump, done for excessive beautification or attention. Tying hair up isn't forbidden itself unless it becomes a symbol of vanity or immodesty in context. Intention matters.
So it's about avoiding things specifically designed to attract undue attention or that contradict the spirit of modesty.
Precisely. The focus is on dignity and avoiding objectification.
This is really about you understanding the holistic wisdom behind modesty, protection, dignity, recognizing true covering goes beyond just fabric. It's an attitude.
A complete approach.
Okay, a tricky one for parents. Justice between children. Avoiding favoritism, especially with gifts or money. How do we manage that fairly?
The Sheikh stressed justice in financial gifts, akya, is obligatory. He used the hadith of Nu'man ibn Bashir, again the prophet, refusing to witness an unequal gift, calling it injustice.
Because it breeds resentment.
Exactly. The prophet asked, would you like them to be equally dutiful to you? Implying fairness fosters good relations. The ideal distribution mentioned often mirrors inheritance, 2.1 male to female, reflecting traditional responsibilities.
But there are exceptions to strict equality.
Yes, practical ones. 1, necessity maintenance. Unequal spending for different needs, illness, education costs, age differences is fine. That's providing sustenance, not just gifting.
Okay, needs-based is different.
2, compensation. Paying a child for work done is a transaction, not an unequal gift. 3, minor gifts. Small things that don't cause real resentment are overlooked. 4, consent. If all other kids willingly agree to an unequal gift, it's permissible.
Transparency and agreement help? What about affection? Can parents love children equally?
The heart's inclination, mahaba, is hard to control. You might feel closer to one child. That internal feeling isn't sinful as it's involuntary. However, actions must be just. You absolutely cannot translate favoritism into unfair actions like taking one child's money for another or showing blatant preference in treatment. That's oppression.
Actions must be fair, even if feelings vary.
That's the key.
This is tough. It requires real wisdom and self-awareness from parents. For you, it's about consciously striving for fairness in your actions to nurture healthy sibling bonds and avoid planting seeds of resentment.
A continuous effort in parenting.
Moving towards spiritual practice again. Congregational prayer for men. What's the parent's duty regarding their sons attending?
Huge emphasis on this. Congregational prayer for adult men is obligatory. Confirmed by many hadith, provided conditions like hearing the call and having no valid excuse are met.
The prophet took it very seriously.
Extremely. He considered burning homes of those who skipped it without reason, showing the severity of neglecting this communal duty.
So what's the parent's role?
For young children, 7-10, the hadith says, command them at 7, discipline gently at 10. It's about habit formation. For adult sons, commanding them becomes part of enjoining good and forbidding evil. The father, as head of household, has a duty to ensure religious obligations are met.
A responsibility even when they're adults.
Yes. And early habits stick. Youth grows up on what his father accustomed him to. Starting young is crucial. He also linked prayer directly to solving life's problems. It brings solace, relief from stress.
Like the prophet rushing to prayer when troubled.
Exactly. Oh, brother, bring us comfort with prayer. And using istikhara prayer for guidance before big decisions, marriage, divorce, career. It connects spiritual practice directly to navigating life's challenges.
So for you, this isn't just ritual. It's about building resilience, finding strength, getting guidance, a lifeline that impacts the whole family's well-being.
A source of peace and strength.
Okay, another sensitive topic. Dealing with the disobedient or transgressing spouse. Someone falling short religiously, maybe even committing major sins? What's the guidance?
He clarified a specific case first, adultery, Sina. If a spouse commits it and persists without repentance, separation becomes obligatory. It violates the fundamental kafa suitability for marriage.
That's a definitive line.
Yes. But for other shortcomings, neglecting prayers, bad habits, minor sins, the approach is about reform. First step, counsel and guidance. Advise them gently, wisely, with sincere concern. Explain the truth, the consequences. Use it as an opportunity for dawah.
Inviting them back to the right path.
Yes. And there's immense reward in guiding someone. For Allah to guide one man through you is better than red camels. Whoever guides to good gets the reward. It frames the difficulty as a chance for spiritual gain for the guiding spouse.
Seeing challenges as opportunities for reward.
And remembering even prophets like Lut and Nuh had wives with shortcomings. It's a test, an opportunity to practice patience and wisdom. Ultimately, each situation is unique, requires careful thought about the specific sin, the potential for change, the overall context.
It really highlights that even tough marital problems can be avenues for growth and reward if handled with wisdom, patience, and the intent to guide. That's a challenging but hopeful perspective for you.
Turning trials into growth.
Finally, let's address envy. Hasad, that destructive emotion that can poison any relationship, especially family bonds.
It's described as a disease of the heart. The prophet warned, envy eats up good deeds as fire eats up wood. It corrodes your own heart, your own actions.
It harms the envier most.
Primarily, yes. The sheikh said the happiest person is the one free from envy. He told that story of Al-Asma'i meeting the old man in the desert.
Who attributed his long, happy life to leaving envy.
Exactly. A simple statement with profound implications for inner peace and contentment.
But it's hard to eliminate completely.
Very hard. Think of the man of paradise who simply harbored no ill will. That's a high station. But reducing its intensity, managing it, that's achievable.
What practical steps?
Several things. Practicing tagaful, overlooking things that might trigger envy. Making dua, supplication for the person you envy that transforms the negative energy. Seeking istighfar, forgiveness for your own feelings. Showing ihsan, kindness towards them. Actively recalling and mentioning their good qualities. And crucially, avoiding any aggression or backbiting.
So active spiritual work to counteract it.
Yes. Conscious effort to purify the heart.
So what does this mean for you? Purifying your heart from envy isn't just about being nice to others, it's profound self-care. It's a path to your own inner peace, your own happiness. It frees you.
Truly liberating.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels like we've covered so much ground. Incredible wisdom from Sheikh Al-Shuay'er, rooted in the Quran and Sunnah.
A comprehensive framework.
We've seen how these principles provide a living guide for building strong, resilient families, navigating both timeless and modern challenges.
We really have.
Yeah.
We started with the sacredness of the marriage covenant, that mithaqan. Then the core principle of mutual kindness, maruf, and what that looks like in practice for both spouses.
And the wisdom of handling imperfections with tagaful.
Yes, that intentional oversight. Plus, the importance of protecting financial rights to avoid conflict. And always looking to the Prophet's perfect example. And the Q&A really brought it home, tackling modern media, parental roles, modesty, justice with kids, the power of prayer, dealing with difficult spousal behavior, and that final crucial battle against envy.
It all ties together.
It does. So perhaps a final thought for you listening to consider. What if we really took on board that our conduct within the family, our patience, our fairness with money, our struggle against envy, our practice of tagaful, what if we saw all that not just as getting along, but as a direct reflection of our faith?
A spiritual practice in itself.
Exactly. And perhaps the very path to deeper peace, success, blessings in this life and the next. It suggests that our greatest spiritual growth might happen right there at home.
That's a powerful perspective. It makes the everyday sacred, a continuous journey of growth right within our closest relationships.
A journey with immense potential reward.
Indeed. We really hope you'll reflect on these insights, consider how they might apply in your own life, your own family. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it's given you clarity, inspiration, and maybe some practical tools to help make your home a place of even greater peace and love.